Recording in progress. Are you there?
Oh, I didn't have to yeah,
Gee,
I'm here.
we're
I was
recording.
looking for the I'm sorry. I was looking for the accept recording button. Hi.
Oh, hi.
We're not in the same room.
We are not. That's
Yep. It's weird.
is super weird.
But I have two very cute little puppies sitting at my feet.
I've got one cute puppy laying by the window.
Oh,
You might hear her at some point during the recording.
yeah, she's still a little sad.
Yeah, she's a sad little puppy. But we won't talk about that because
Nope. We're house sitting for some puppies this week in two different houses. So
yeah.
we are recording this uh and doing the best we can.
Yeah.
Good times.
Good times. Um, because well, first off, what's up?
What's up? Not much. I'm just over in this it's a little tiny house, which is kind of cool, and I'm thinking I want one, but I don't have land to put one on, so
Yeah.
uh no, I don't have anything new since I last talked to you 30 minutes ago.
Well, I meant since last week. We're talking to
Oh,
listeners, not each other.
I know. I always remember that too late. I don't have much new from last week either.
Yeah. Well, last week we forgot to do war members. I realized that. So we'll have to be sure to do
Oh
war members
yeah.
at the end of this episode.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to think of a war member because I didn't.
Okay. I have war members, so I'm good
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Cool. That means you'll.
Um, I'll go first doing the war members. Okay.
Yeah.
So recording in different locations means we can't do our draw card.
Yeah. We couldn't really think of a way to like unless we like split the deck and each drew a card from our pile, which seemed weird. I don't know. We're not doing Uno. We're throwing back to season one and we're rolling dice.
And since we don't have dice, we're rolling on our character sheets in D&D Beyond.
Digital dice. Are we ready?
Um,
Do we want to say something before we get started? No.
I was gonna say, all I was gonna say was like, OMG, secret project.
Secret projects are happening. Yeah, we're very excited. Not ready
Secret
to
project.
not we're not ready to announce anything yet.
That's it. That's all I got is secret project.
Secret project. Yes,
Uh, yeah.
it's gonna be fun.
Should we be in the same campaign so we can see each other's roles, or are we just gonna trust each other really
Aren't we on the
hard?
same campaign?
No, Edgar's sheet's not in a campaign.
Oh, well, that's your problem then. That's a you problem.
Wow. Okay. Well, let me go. Which campaign are you? You're in one, right?
You don't trust me?
I trust you.
I'm not in campaign one.
What campaign are you in?
You don't trust me?
No, because right now I have a streak that I haven't gone first this whole year. I'm
I
gonna jinx
know.
it by saying this right now.
I'm in number
Um,
three.
you're number three, okay.
Yeah.
And I also know that the weird the how Jim sent the thing just the other day.
Oh yeah, the episodes that are out of the ordinary and none of us go first. Like last week we had the Raven Riff. His is tied with those. So you've gone first a total of what, 15 times?
Yeah.
We've had 15 episodes where neither of us go first.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything else has been me. 61 episodes, by the way.
I can't break my streak. I okay, I'm gonna borrow a character sheet because I don't have a character in this campaign. All right. Oh man, here we go. I'm gonna hope this works.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
hang on. I'm looking for the actual numbers that Jim pulled for us.
Oh
Um,
yeah, it's in that one chat.
yeah.
It's wild. I feel like I'm gonna go first tonight and I'm scared.
60 episodes. So this is our 61st episode. So we'll see. 60
Okay.
episodes. I went first 30. That's half,
Half of
50%.
them.
And so Hids, you have 25% and NA is 25%.
We have to stop because I don't want to mess up that perfect number.
Those are very cool numbers, actually.
I know. That's really cool.
But no, here we go. I'm gonna roll. Ready?
Okay, you roll and then I'll roll.
Oh, well, okay.
Oh, well, I guess you're going first because
I
you
got
rolled a natural 20.
well,
And
you roll two just in case. Oh no, you rolled a three.
I rolled a 3.
Okay.
The
Wow.
street holds.
So this is the character sheet that I just played a game on like an hour ago and did not roll anything in the double digits at all the whole night. And now I have rolled a crit. So
That's amazing. I borrowed Rusty's character sheet. So thanks, Rusty. Well done.
Rusty from Ocean's 11.
Yeah. All
Rusty's the
right.
name of the character, by the way, not the player.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So
Okay.
tell me what you've
Well,
learned.
I would like to tell you, Hids, that you'll probably guess my actual topic before any of our listeners will, but don't say it
Okay.
out loud. Don't say it out loud because I want listeners to be able to see if they could figure it out too.
Okay.
So, before I get to my topic, I have to talk about a murder.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Of crows or of people?
no, a murder of a person.
Okay.
So I guess trigger warning, because this does involve, a murder.
Okay.
On March 13th, 1964, a young bar manager named Kitty was just coming home from work. It was around 3:15 a.m. when she pulled up to her apartment, parked her car about 100 feet from her apartment building door. As she walked to the building, a man named Winston Mosley approached her armed with a hunting knife. Mosley had spotted her while she was driving home from work that same night, just randomly stopped at a red light and decided to follow her home. When Kitty saw him and the knife, she started running for her door, but he caught up to her, stabbing her twice in the back.
Oh my gosh.
Later, some neighbors reported hearing her scream, quote, "Oh my God, he stabbed me. Please help me. Please help me." From one
Holy
of the
crap.
upper, yeah, from one of the upper windows in the apartment building, a man called down, "Let that girl alone." Mosley looked up at him, shrugged, and walked away. So Kitty slowly got to her feet, at this point, very much in critical condition, and
Yeah.
headed for the entrance to her apartment building. Um, just struggling to get there. 10 minutes later, Mosley comes back, this time wearing a hat, and he searches the parking lot, the like neighboring apartment building before he finally found Kitty
Oh my
in
God.
in the hallway in the back of her apartment building. She had gotten into the building but hadn't been able to get down the hallway to where her apartment was. She was barely conscious in the hallway, um, and there was just a locked door between her and getting inside.
Oh no.
Stabbed her several more times. He did some other horrible things, stole her money, and then ran away again. The two attacks spanned approximately half an hour, and knife wounds in Kitty's hands suggested that she attempted to defend herself. A neighbor found Kitty then and held her in her arms, whispering, "Help is on the way." The first phone call to the police came in around 3:50 a.m., and the police were on site shortly after that. They called for an ambulance, which didn't show up until 4:15 a.m., but sadly
Oh my
Kitty
gosh.
died on the way to the hospital.
Oh my gosh.
6 days later, after killing Kitty, Mosley was arrested when he was caught burgling a house. He had, surprise, surprise, no criminal record. Uh, he seemed to be a upstanding citizen. He was married with 2 kids, and when asked why he did it, he simply replied, "I wanted to kill a woman."
What?
There's a lot more to that story. I just hit the highlights. There's even a bit where Mosley escapes from prison 4 years later and did some more horrible things, but that's not my topic. The murder of Kitty Genovese didn't get much traction in the news at first until a newspaper article was published in the New York Times on March 27th. So this is 2 weeks after the murder took place. The headline read, 38 who saw murder didn't call the police.
Oh
Do you
my
know what I'm
gosh.
talking about yet?
I, yes, I think I know what you're talking about.
So 30 this newspaper article falsely, by the way, reported that 38 people witnessed this murder and did not do anything. Uh,
Right.
I'm linking the actual article in my references. The article
Okay.
claims went so far as to claim that one man who lived in the apartment building heard the screams and rushed to turn on his radio to drown out the sound. That was
Oh,
completely made up.
oh, good.
There were a few other exaggerated details in the article. For instance, the article said that Mosley came back a second time between, the first time and the actual when he found her in the hallway.
Hmm.
So the paper reported 3 separate attacks, but it was actually just two. And then they talked about like other details that were very much exaggerated. I'm gonna go ahead and read a chunk of the article right now.
Okay.
Um, A housewife, knowingly, if quite casually, said, "We thought it was a lover's quarrel." A husband and wife both said, "Frankly, we were afraid." They seemed aware of the fact that events might have been different. A distraught woman, wiping her hands in her apron, said, "I didn't want my husband to get involved." One couple, now willing to talk about that night, said they heard the first screams. The husband looked thoughtfully at the bookstore where the killer first grabbed Miss Genovese. So the bookstore they're referencing here is the first floor of apartments were rented out to commercial spaces. The entrance
Oh, okay.
to the living apartments was in the back, which is why she parked sort of that far away from the entrance to the building. She had to kind of get around there. So um, I lost my place. Oh, yeah. The husband looked thoughtfully at the bookstore where the killer first grabbed Miss Genovese. "We went to the window to see what was happening," he said, "but the light from our bedroom made it difficult to see the street." The wife, still apprehensive, added, "I put out the light and we were able to see better." Asked why they hadn't called the police, she shrugged and replied, "I don't know." A man peeked out from a slight opening in the doorway to his apartment and rattled off an account of the killer's second attack. Why hadn't he called the police at the time? "I was tired," he said without emotion. "I went back to bed."
Oh my gosh.
It was 4:25 a.m. when the ambulance arrived to take the body of Miss Genovese. This is also from the article, also not accurate. It drove off. Then, a solemn police detective said, the people came out. So, my actual topic, the card I drew, is the bystander effect,
Yes.
also called bystander apathy or the Genovese effect, named after Kitty.
Oh, wow. I did not know it was named after her.
Yeah,
That
like
is wild.
research was sparked because of this article. And I do want to point out that 38 people did not see the stabbing and
Yeah.
not report it. Like this article was definitely exaggerated. Um, and I'm not going to dive into exactly how or why the article got it wrong, because I want to save the time for the actual like psychology aspect of the bystander effect. But I am
Okay.
link an article that it's by NY Post, and it says it's talking about a book that reveals the real story behind the Kitty Genovese murder. And it sort of goes into more details that I'm going to go into here. So if you want to read more about it, look it up. You can also just Google the murder. It's a very famous case.
Okay.
Um, okay, so the bystander effect. It's a social psychological theory that states that individuals are less likely to offer help to a victim in the presence of other people. The theory was first proposed in 1964 after Kitty's murder. Much research, mostly in psychology research laboratories, has focused on increasingly varied factors, such as the number of bystanders, ambiguity, like the bystanders might not know what's going on, group cohesiveness, and diffusion of responsibility that reinforces mutual denial. If a single individual is asked to complete a task alone, the sense of responsibility will be strong and there will be a positive response. However, if a group is required to complete a task together, each individual in the group will have a weak sense of responsibility and will often shrink back in the face of difficulties or responsibilities.
Wow.
So that's basically what the bystander effect is saying that like if there are more witnesses to a thing, people are
Well,
less like,
somebody else will do it.
yeah, it's that diffusion of responsibility. Like, well, why should I do this when nobody else is stepping up either? Um,
Wow.
the
That's so wild.
it is, yeah. The bystander effect was first demonstrated and popularized by social psychologists John M. Darley and Bib Latane in 1968, again after they became interested in the proposed theory following Kitty's murder. So they took this and they launched a series of experiments that resulted in one of the strongest and most replicable effects in social psychology.
Wow.
In a typical experiment, the participant is either alone or among a group of other participants or confederates. An emergency situation is staged, and researchers measure how long it takes the participants to intervene if they intervene. They found the presence of others inhibits helping, often by a huge margin. So, for example, researchers staged an experiment around a woman in distress where subjects were either alone, with a friend, or with a stranger. 70% of the people alone called out or went to help the woman after they believed she had fallen and was hurt. But when paired with a stranger, only 40% offered help.
Wow. That is insane.
Yeah, that 30% difference is huge with studies like this. Latané and Darley, the social psychologists, they performed 3 experiments to test bystander behavior in non-emergency situations. And their results indicated that the way the subjects were asked for help mattered. In one condition, subjects asked a bystander for his or her name. More people provided an answer when the students gave their first name also. So like, hi, I'm da 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 da, what's your name?
Right.
So more people provided an answer there. In another condition, the students asked bystanders for a dime. When the student gave an explanation, like saying their wallet had been stolen, the percentage of people giving assistance was higher at 72% than when the student just asked for a dime without giving a reason, and that was at 34%.
Huh.
According to these 2 scientists, there are 5 characteristics of emergencies, or like what makes an emergency that affect bystanders. So you have emergencies. Emergencies involve threat of harm or actual harm. Emergencies are unusual and rare. The type of action required in an emergency differs from situation to situation. Emergencies cannot be predicted or expected, and emergencies require immediate action. So those are sort of 5 characteristics that they were working with on paper, I guess,
Okay.
because you sort of have to define parameters and all that.
Right. Yeah. For a scientific study.
Yeah. So due to these 5 characteristics, bystanders go, I always say bystandards, like with,
I know.
and I don't mean to, and I can't stop, and I'm sorry.
It's fine.
So bystanders go through a few cognitive and behavioral processes. The first one is they notice that something is going on. The second one is they interpret the situation as being an emergency. The third one is the degree of responsibility felt. The fourth one is the form of assistance, like deciding the form of assistance you will provide.
Hmm.
And the fifth one is implement the action of choice. So actually following through with the help. And then I have a little bit about each of these things to test and like what they did to test these things. To test the concept of noticing, Latané and Darley staged an emergency using college students. The students were placed in a room either alone with two strangers or three strangers to complete a questionnaire while they waited for the experimenter to return. While they were completing the questionnaire, smoke was pumped into the room through a wall vent to simulate an emergency. When students were working alone, they noticed the smoke almost immediately, within 5 seconds. But students that were working in groups took longer, up to 20 seconds, to notice the smoke. Latané and
Huh.
Darley claimed that this could be explained by the social norm of what is considered polite etiquette in public. So, like in most Western cultures, politeness dictates that it's inappropriate to idly look around. It may suggest that a person is nosy or rude, which to
Hmm.
me is so wild because I always want to know what's going on around me.
Yeah.
It's so weird. And as a result of that, passersby are more likely to be keeping their own attention like to themselves when around large groups. Uh, More likely to do that around large groups than when they're alone. People who are alone are more likely to be conscious of their surroundings and therefore more likely to notice a person in need of assistance. So, yeah. So they say like it could be a culture thing, an etiquette thing
Mhm.
that
Right.
made it so like these people that were in the groups did not realize the smoke coming from the vents. Um,
That's wild. I have such a fear of burning that I would be like, I smell smoke. I smell
oh,
smoke.
what? Yeah, there's smoke.
Do you guys smell smoke?
It's just weird that like I I just like to pay attention to my surroundings. I like to be aware of what's going on around me
Yeah.
all the time. So I think it's weird that it's considered an etiquette thing, even though like I am in a Western culture. I don't really consider that etiquette. I don't know. Am I
Yeah. I
weird?
wonder,
That
but
weird?
this study was done in the 60s, right?
Yeah.
So maybe,
So maybe it's just like a mind your own business kind of thing.
yeah. Is that,
That
I don't like, is that still a thing? I don't know. Like,
I don't know. I just like I like
well, I think it is still a thing because like you can be like in a city and just do the stupidest thing on the street and nobody pays any attention to you.
yeah,
I mean, like,
because people are more
okay,
worried about how they look.
yeah,
I don't know. So anyway, so the second one, interpret the situation as being an emergency. Um,
okay.
According to the principle of social influence, bystanders, I did it again.
It's fine. Just roll
Bystander,
with it.
I know. I need to, what's a synonym for bystanders? Onlookers?
Onlookers.
They monitor the reactions of other people in an emergency situation to see if others think that it's necessary to intervene. So, how how an onlooker might interpret the situation as an emergency depends on how other people around you interpret the situation. But like everyone else around you is also looking at everybody else, thinking, "Oh, is this an emergency? Should we act?" And nobody is acting because of that.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's wild.
yeah. Um, let's see, I'm kind of skimming my notes a little bit. Da, da, da.
Well, nobody else is freaking out that the building's on fire, so I guess I'll just stay here. That
Yeah,
is not me.
yeah,
I'm like, the building is on fire. Stop gaslighting me into thinking nothing's happening.
right. So for this same test with the smoke in the vents,
Hmm.
um, let's see, they they tested 8 groups, and uh, in 5 out of the 8 groups, no one reported the smoke at all.
Wow.
In the groups that did not report the smoke, the interpretations of its cause and the likelihood that it was genuinely threatening was also less serious, with no one suggesting fire as a possible cause, but some preferring less serious explanations, such as the air conditioner was leaking. Like, they would just be like, oh, it must be the air conditioner.
That is so wild.
Yeah. So they also did another test where they staged a woman sort of trying to get away from, like, fighting off a man in the street.
Right.
And in one version of this, the woman yells, "Get away from me, I don't know you." So the reaction to that and the intervention, like the response to help that came to that, was stronger than when the woman said, "Get away from me, I don't know why I ever married you."
Oh,
So people are like, "Oh, that's your husband, that's your business. I'm not going to get involved." Even though, like, it could still have been a very serious crime being committed.
yeah, for
Like,
real.
people are less likely to get involved if they think it's like a personal matter, even though it's a very public, very violent thing that is obviously happening. Um,
Wow, that's wild.
yeah. So, talking about the degree of responsibility felt, these 2 researchers, Darley and Letonnet, determined that the degree of responsibility a bystander feels depends on 3 things. 1, whether or not they feel the person is deserving of help. 2, the competence of the bystander. And 3, the relationship between the bystander and the victim. So obviously there's a lot that can go with number 1, whether or not they feel the person is deserving of help. And the research, I'm only skimming the surface of the research, but it dove into things like race, like politics, like gender, like just all the things.
Hmm.
And the results are about what you'd expect. Uh, you know, a racist person isn't going to help a person of color who is
Ugh,
a danger. Yeah, because, it's that degree of responsibility felt. Um, they could also have a stronger responsibility to help if they have a relationship between the bystander and this, or between the bystander and the victim. Um, and this could be like, oh, I just got off the subway. I was riding with that person. I recognize that person because I've been looking at them for the last 30 minutes. Or it could be like an actual, I know this person, I work with this person. Or it could even be the appearance of having similarities. Again, race comes into play here.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, there's a lot of varying degrees of responsibility that a onlooker could feel,
That is
and
so
a lot of
wild.
different factors. Yeah. There's also the competence of the bystander. Am I able to help? What can I do to help? I Yeah. There's
Yeah.
um there's also the form of assistance. There are 2 categories of assistance as defined by Latané and Darley. One is direct intervention, meaning you, the onlooker, are directly assisting the victim. Or 2, detour intervention. And that refers to reporting an emergency to the authorities like the police, or, calling an ambulance when needed, stuff like that. So that's another thing that an onlooker would have to decide while witnessing an emergency.
Okay.
And then there's the last one was implement the action of choice, and that really only happens after going through steps 1 through 4. Uh, the onlooker has to choose then, like, what action am I going to take? Um,
That's why. So there's like four or five steps or 4 steps before you actually do something.
yeah, like four
That
things
is,
that people
yeah,
determine according to these studies in emergency situations.
that is so wild.
Yeah. And like all of this happens in just like a split second. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, you're not like
unless it's,
checklisting and but yeah.
fight, flight, or freeze. If you're frozen, then it could take a lot longer than a split.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so other factors that come into play, bystanders are more likely to intervene in low ambiguity slash insignificant consequence situations than in high ambiguity slash significant consequence situation. Wow, I can't talk. So what this means is, if I'll refer back to Kitty's murder.
Hmm.
Yeah, the apartment building was full of people, um,
Right.
but it was also, three after 3 o'clock in the morning. A lot of those people were asleep. So the people that
Yeah.
did hear the screams, though, they had no way of interpreting exactly what was going on. A lot of them thought that it was a fight somewhere.
Right.
And that ambiguity of the situation led to inaction in a lot of cases of Kitty's neighbors.
Yeah.
Um, and they obviously uh, could have gone out to look, but that's a whole other thing that I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard like when you live in an apartment building and you hear stuff all the time.
Yeah,
And it's like, well, I mean, I could understand like you want to help. You may be a person who's like, I want to help, but if you're hearing something and then you see that person and they're like, yeah, we just got in a big screaming match but it's fine. You're
yeah,
like, well, that would have been really embarrassing if I'd call the cops on that.
yeah, and
But then like, yeah, it would be hard, like, because you want to help, but if it's just people argue, people yell at each other, and then they're perfectly fine the next day,
yeah,
or a couple of days down the road because they've had this big fight and now they've gotten past it.
yeah. There's
So
also
yeah,
like the fact that the actual screams they happened outside on the main street, not even in the apartment building. So like, would
yeah,
you assume that that's somebody that lives in your apartment building, or would you assume it's somebody walking by on the street? Uh,
yeah.
I mean, I'm
And if you,
not like saying that like you shouldn't go investigate. I'm just saying that like it's the newspaper article was very critical of these people, and like is the reason that this happened in New York, by the way. And
oh yeah,
that was kind of the reason that New York got um this reputation of being everybody being callous, and they won't pay attention to somebody getting stabbed in the street. Like that's where that whole misconception came from.
wow,
Uh yeah, anyway.
that's wild. I think it's so crazy to me because I always like I like to think if I saw something, I would do something. But like I also don't know, and I think it comes down to um that like what could I do?
Yeah.
Like am I, if someone's obviously attacking someone, I hope to God that I will do my best to stop that, even just causing a distraction or calling the cops or doing something, right?
Yeah.
But like if it's a very like, well, I don't know, like, yeah, I don't know what I would do, but I want to say that I would do the best I can to be helpful.
Same. Yeah. I mean, we all want to say that, right? Uh,
Yeah.
the bystander effect is definitely a real thing, though. And there have been times where, like, I wouldn't classify anything that I've experienced as an actual emergency. At least I hope it's not. But
Yeah.
there have been times when I've been like out walking and you hear something and you're like, oh, something's happening over there, but I'm going to keep walking.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't think of any specific times, but I know it's happened before because I used to go out walking at midnight a lot on a college campus. So
I
Um,
remember that. I'm like, text me when
yeah.
you're home.
Oh, I love midnight walks. I need to take
Yeah,
them more often.
we should
Um,
do that. Yeah.
I know. It's heckin' cold
Not
right.
right now. It's like 20 degrees outside, but
Yeah. Yeah.
in the summer.
Anyway. Uh, I lost my place on my notes. Okay, and the ambiguity of the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, lack of that ambiguity is a big thing. If you can't if you're hearing something and you can't immediately figure out what's going on, you don't necessarily want to go investigate because it it could also be.
Because we've watched too many horror movies and you don't
Yeah,
go investigate. That's
yeah.
how you die.
You heard something? No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. Yeah.
Um, there's also one of the other factors is understanding of your environment. Whether or not an onlooker intervenes may have to do with their familiarity with the environment and where the emergency occurs. Um,
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, if someone is more familiar with the environment, they're more likely to know where to get help or where the exits are, like in if it's like a get out quick sort of situation. Uh,
Hmm.
People who are in an environment that they're not familiar with are less likely to help out in emergency because they're just like, oh, this isn't really my territory. I don't
Yeah,
know.
what do I do? Where do I go? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's also I think I mentioned group cohesiveness at the very beginning and didn't
Hmm.
really go into that. It's another variable that can affect the helping behavior of a bystander. Cohesiveness, wow, I cannot talk. Cohesiveness refers to an established relationship, like friends or acquaintances, between two or more people. So it's not like mental cohesiveness, like mental cognitive abilities, because that's what
Right.
I first thought it was. But it's like a group cohesiveness, meaning how familiar are you with the people around you that are also witnessing this emergency.
Okay.
So they're more likely to help out in an emergency situation if they're with people they know. So if you're with a group of your friends and you are all witnessing an emergency, and even in those cases, it's actually one of the few things that the bystander effect works the opposite way. If you're with a big group of people and you all know each other, you're all hanging out, people are more likely to help in an emergency
Huh.
situation.
That's wild. I guess that's like you hear about like that the train that all the people turned over in like China, I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, well, these people, if I look at that right now with this bystander effect, I'm like, oh, these people ride that train together probably every single day. So, something happens and they have to physically move a train, they're all going to jump in and do it because they kind of sort of know each other
Yeah. Like they're
just
all,
from,
it's kind of like that whole we're all in the same boat. We got to work together kind of.
yeah.
Yeah.
The humans and human brains are so weird.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's just like, I'm the beginning of your story was horrible. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but that was horrible. But the fact that it triggered this response to do this study to learn why
Yeah.
is absolutely fascinating. Like, because I think you always think, oh yeah, if I saw something, I would jump to it and do it, but you might not.
Yeah. And like I said that the original article that said there were 38 witnesses, that number is completely arbitrary. They
Yeah,
interviewed 49 people in the building and not all of them had even heard anything. I don't actually remember the numbers. It's all in one of the articles that I'm going to post. But like I'm not trying to make excuses for these people because
right.
there are people who ignored the screams and went about their business. There were a couple people, at least two people that actually witnessed, one of them witnessed the stabbing outside and another one witnessed her in the hallway being
Oh
stabbed
my gosh. And they
and they did
didn't
not
call?
do anything. The one that witnessed her in the hallway. I actually read this right before we started recording. It was one of her friends,
Oh,
and he was an alcoholic, and it was easier for him to just shut the door and take a drink. And he paced his apartment for a little bit, and he actually called one of his friends saying, "Hey, what should I do?" And the friends were like, "Dude, you need to call the police."
oh my gosh.
That's the one who actually finally called the police.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
But
is so like,
too
and I'm
late
like,
to save her life. Like he witnessed when the murderer was there physically stabbing her and
wow.
so forth. And just shut his door. And that I am not excusing that behavior at all.
No, like, well, okay, I'm not excusing it, but I'm also like having experience with the alcoholics.
Yeah.
The brain doesn't work,
Yeah. Yeah.
and if it's 3 a.m., he's up for a reason.
Oh yeah, he was up drinking.
And
It was already.
like,
Yeah.
oh gosh, yeah, no, I'm not excusing it. Like, but wow, holy cow.
Yeah. Yeah, it was rough. And I didn't actually put that in my notes. I only mentioned it because I just read it. But that's
Yeah.
one of the things, one of the articles that I linked, is the whole debunking of the original newspaper article that came out.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's listed in there. So
Wow.
there is more to dive into with all the psychology of this and all the tests and experiments that are even still being done today about the topic. Because now we have the introduction of security cameras and things like that that
Right.
sort of changed the way we do these tests and changed the way people react to things if there's a security camera going on
Oh, I'm
or
sure.
recording. Yeah. So like there
Wow.
are more studies being done, but I just wanted to kind of touch on it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're what, like 60 years
Yeah.
of studies. Like
Yeah.
that's a lot to try to cram into our podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that would be fascinating to read, like the changes since, having security cameras. I
Yeah.
mean,
And
you're
like
like,
maybe I should have made this a two-parter. Maybe I still can if I
you still can.
continue researching and find out there's enough to do, a whole other podcast on.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, if you want to, I'm cool with that. Or
yeah,
if you want to come back to it at a later date or something, or
yeah.
yeah,
We'll see. I meant to reach out to our resident uh
psychologist.
psychologist expert, but I did not. So
Well,
I
hey,
might text him and be like, "Hey, what do you know about the bystander effect?" That's not really
yeah,
his area of study, but you might have something. I don't know.
I'm sure he's probably at least read about it and had some input.
Yeah.
So that would,
Um,
wow, okay,
so, but before I finish, I did want to add a neat little thing that also came about as a result of Kitty's murder. So
okay.
back then, the only way to reach the police was to dial 0 to get the operator and hope that they could connect you quickly.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So because of this, it was kind of after this and a bunch of other crimes, it was decided that we need an emergency hotline for situations like this. And that's why 911 was created.
It is wild to me to think that we've only had 911 for what, 60 years.
Yeah, I think it was in 70 something it was actually
Okay.
implemented. So 1970 something. I should look that up.
I
I
That is just, it's wild because it's just always been part of my, like, as a child,
911.
911,
Yeah. It's
911.
ingrained in all of our brains now.
It is, and now I'm like, na 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 na
Oh,
na
118 999
999.
88199 9119725.
Three.
Anyway, that's an IT crowd reference.
Yeah.
Another thing that happened because of this murder was it sort of acted as the catalyst to form the first neighborhood watch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
And I think there were other things, and I listened to the And That's Why We Drink episode where Christine covered this one, and I'm linking
Hmm.
that in the references too. I highly recommend it. It's also the first time that M talks about QAnon,
Oh,
which is fun. Um,
that's a
by fun, I mean completely terrifying. Uh,
that's a wild.
yeah, it's a
That
while.
was like a three-parter, wasn't it?
It
Or
was
four-part?
so maybe this was the second part of M's
Okay.
QAnon.
It was wild, man.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Anyway, I listened to that episode and they mentioned that Kitty's girlfriend at the time later went on to help establish like helplines specifically in the LGBTQ plus community
Oh,
and things
wow.
like that. Because yeah, yeah,
That's cool.
that is cool. And I wish I would have written down like specifically what became of that and what she did. But
We can uh come back to it
yeah,
and
yeah,
put little I want to do that. We talked about it and we're going to do a little bit in the newsletter that's going to come out this weekend. Haha, because I'm almost have it finished. But we could do I want to like do little snippets of topics and stuff, or like an update like, oh, we did this topic and then we learned this or whatever.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Kind of a new feature. But yeah, if you can find out that information, that'd be great.
I will have to listen to the episode again because I didn't see
Okay.
it on any of my sources. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
Cool.
that's it. That's it for the bystander effect and Kitty Genovese.
That is so wild.
Yeah. Apologies if you are squeamish about murder topics. Hopefully, I don't know, that didn't turn anybody off of our podcast. But
Yeah, no,
we talked
I
about
mean
stuff before.
we both listen to true crime, but we don't really talk about it too much on the on our podcast. So,
Yeah, there have been like a
but
handful of episodes, but not a whole lot. It's usually
yeah, not
me too. Why do I do it? Why do I get the
um,
crime stuff?
I don't know.
Okay, it's
You're
fine.
good at it though.
Oh, gee, thanks. I
I
mean,
think
I
it's
guess
just
that's
because I haven't drawn any topics. I don't know.
yeah. No, I'll take
Okay,
that compliment.
so
It's fine.
you were in 1964 New York, right?
1960, was it 64? Goes back to check the notes. Um,
Thought that's what you said.
it's probably what I said. 67 is also coming to mind. Yeah, 64.
64.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to go forward a little bit in time and we're going to go a little southwest of New York to West Virginia in 1966. It's a cold night in November, and Woodrow Derenberger was driving home to Mineral Wells after a business trip in Marietta, Ohio. He was a traveling salesman and had stopped to check on his equipment around 7:30 p.m. And as he was pulling back onto the road, he said that he saw a vehicle coming up behind him. And he's like, okay, vehicle coming. He kept driving, and then the vehicle passed him. He says it was traveling about the same speed as my truck, and it cut in front of me and continued to travel some distance sideways and then pulled to a stop in front of him.
Sideways.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Well, it wasn't an ordinary vehicle. Um,
Is it a spacecraft? Was it
it
an
was
alien?
described as a dark, long aircraft that resembled a kerosene lamp globe.
What?
It appeared to be made of some kind of dark gray metal. There were no visible lights, and it seemed to emit a soft fluttering noise as it hovered about 8 to 10 inches above the ground.
Like a bird wing?
It approached his truck at the intersection where it slowed and finally stopped, blocking the entire road. This was all recounted in an interview with the news director at WTAP TV News, director, wow, let me say director 3 more times. Glenn Wilson was conducting the interview. State and local police, as well as an Air Force representative sat nearby. And I listened to this interview, and I will link it. It's about a 30-minute interview, and Glenn Wilson was really a very good interviewer. He kept asking very specific questions, and then he would ask them again, but stated differently, like trying to trip up this guy's story, I think.
Right.
But like in a, not like, he wasn't accusatory. He was just asking, repeating, like, so you say this, and Woodrow Derenberger's like, no, 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 this, and like his story stayed the same throughout.
Interesting.
Um,
Was Bobby Lasagna there?
Bobby Lasagna was sitting in the background taking notes,
Yes.
hardcore notes.
With his little notebook that he pulled out of his cargo shorts.
Yes, and his pencil that was stuck behind his ear, and he licked the lead and started writing. So this aircraft is about 35 to 40 feet long, had a flat bottom with what appeared to be a dome-like top. Mr. Derenberger watched in amazement as a crack began to form along the edge of the craft and a hatch-like door popped open and swung out. He says it was much like a car door. Anxiously, he continued to gawk at the spectacle as the craft lowered down, and a man stepped out of the craft and onto the pavement and then walked toward Derenberger's truck. As he approached, the craft rose up about 75 feet into the air. This man is described as being around 6 feet tall, maybe 35 to 40 years old. His skin looked naturally suntan. He had dark brown hair, well kept and slicked straight back on his head. His face looked very normal, and he appeared to be wearing some kind of top coat that was zipped up in the front. His undershirt was buttoned up, and the clothing seemed to be made of a shiny navy blue material. The jacket, shirt, and pants all seemed to be made of different shades of the same material, and Mr. Derenberger describes it as kind of a zip-up business suit. The only odd thing about this man, well, other than the fact that he just stepped out of a flying saucer, was his smile.
Oh, what? No.
Have you heard of the Grinning Man, otherwise known as Indrid Cold?
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited.
So,
Indrid Cold. Okay.
Indrid Cold.
Tell me everything.
I will attempt to tell you everything. Hi. Oh, a puppy just came running in and ran up to me and put a cold nose on me. Hi.
Aw.
She's so cute. So, let's get back to, I have many, not many, but there's a handful of other times that people have met Indrid Cold, but Woodrow Derenberger seems to have the most in-depth meeting and repeat meetings later on, which he wrote a book about.
Okay.
Which I want to get the book.
Get it too.
So here we are. We're in the middle of this highway. It is.
Is it a dark desert highway?
No, it's a mountain
You're
highway in West Virginia at 7:30 p.m. in November. So it is dark, probably deserted.
Gotcha.
In West Virginia, which is just terrifying anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, look, this puppy keeps running in and out. I'm sorry for all the clattering.
I can't hear it.
Oh, good. Okay. Um, this man, Indrid, which we don't know his name yet, but he approached the passenger side and asked Derenberger to roll down the window, except he didn't actually use words. Uh, Mr. Derenberger describes that he heard the man's voice in his head, um, despite the fact that he was just staring at him and constantly with this really wide grin.
This
Um,
really freaks me out.
it's the grin freaks me out.
Yeah.
It does freak me out. But he said like, and I listened to the interview and he's like, and I could just hear him in my head. And I was looking at him and he wasn't making the words with his mouth, but I could hear it in my head. And I just knew that he says waves of mental telepathy is how he was communicating. And they went on to have a 5 or 10 minute conversation. And he says this is how the conversation opens. Have no fear. We come from a country not nearly as powerful as yours. We mean you no harm. We wish you only happiness. We eat, we breathe, we sleep, we breathe, we bleed even as you do. That's terrifying.
Yeah, that what?
Uh, he, he says, my name is Cold and I am a searcher. And he asked Derenberger his name and he told him, I'm Woodrow Derenberger. And then he was like, oh, you can use actual words, or if you want to just think them, that's just as easy. I can hear you either way, whatever is easier.
Okay.
Um, so they went on with this conversation, and he says Indrid Cold turns and looks at the lights in the distance, and he says, "What is that?" And so he says, "I told him that it was Parkersburg, which is a city. It's a place where there are a lot of people." And Cold said, after a moment of thought, said, oh, where I'm from, places like that are called gatherings. And so they had a few more bit of conversation, and I don't have all my notes on that, but he does kind of go into a little bit more about Cold asking him different things um, about the area and stuff. But then he says, it's time for me to leave, but we will see you again. And then Cold advised Derenberger to contact the local authorities. And then the craft lowered back down to the road, the hatch popped open, and a hand reached out to assist Cold back up into the object. The door audibly closed, sounding much like a car door. The craft rose back into the air and darted away.
That's
And Mr. Huh?
it's just wild.
That's so wild, right? I'm like, this is it sounds like a huge joke, but like I listened to this man's interview and he doesn't sound like a crazy person. He sounds like, I mean, he's a traveling salesman
Wow.
in the 60s, which was a common thing. He sold, it said he sold sewing machines, but not needle and thread. They were actually seed drills for planting
Oh,
farmland.
SEW.
Yeah, SOW.
So, yes. Sorry.
Yes.
SOW.
Which if
My
you
brain
look
was
up,
with you, my mouth went the opposite direction.
that's fine. If you Google like sewing machine, it's gonna mean, do you mean sewing machine? Like with the EW? But it's actually called a seed drill.
Okay.
I learned about farming equipment this week
Yeah.
too. Um, so Mr. Derenberger got back in, or well, he was still in his car. He took off, drove home, got the rest of the way home, ran in the door, and ran to the phone where he called the Parkersburg police. And he probably was like, Ida, hi, yeah, this is Woodrow. Get me the Parkersburg police, please. Because they didn't have 911 in 1966, which I just learned.
Yep.
And so he told his tale. And then it was just a whirlwind. Police, Air Force officials, reporters, everybody wanted to hear this. So he went on air the following day, November 3rd, for the interview with the WTAP TV and described it in full detail. And then he got home and everybody's there, family, friends, neighbors, strangers, reporters, everybody was at his door.
Hmm.
And he's just like, oh, okay. And so he was just telling his tale over and over and over. So this was the very first real encounter, but this was the big news encounter. But it had actually, there were other encounters.
Huh.
And I want to like get this book. It's oh shoot. I gotta find the book. I lost my title of it. Hang on. Do do do. Okay, the book is called Visitors from Lanulos. Lanulos.
Okay.
And this is because it's called that because later on Cold comes back and just kind of hangs out for a while, and then he tells Woodrow Derenberger like where he's from, the Ganymede star cluster, um
Need.
from
Yeah.
the planet Lanulos.
Uh-huh.
And in 1967, Cold took Derenberger for a ride in a spaceship and they went to Lanulos.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Why did he get so
um
lucky?
I don't know. It's like, okay. So he wrote the book in 1971, and then John Keel also wrote several books, and we know John Keel from the Mothman prophecies.
Oh, that guy. Okay.
Yeah. And then I actually just found that there is another book called Our 50 Years with Indrid Cold by Tanya Derenberger Bowman, who I'm assuming is a daughter.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. I want to get both of those and read them.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you a few more. That's all I have on the Derenberger encounter because I didn't get the books and I didn't want to dive. I didn't like most of the information, if it's not in the book, is in that like 45 minute interview, which I will link.
Cool.
And I think it was a really good, interesting interview to listen to. So I'm going to tell you some of the other encounters. A puppy. She keeps running in and out.
Oh.
Um, he was actually first encountered in Point Pleasant
Ah.
in 1966. Hey, baby, I love you, but you can't get in my lap right now.
Are you on the
She's so,
couch or in the
yeah, she wants in my lap.
oh,
Sit down. Yeah. Oh, you're very cute. Um, in 1966 in Point Pleasant, the home of the Lilly family, they state they had been having what they thought was poltergeist activity as well as mysterious lights in the sky around their property. Mrs. Lilly said she saw a series of lights of various colors, blue, green, and red, and one even flying low enough that they thought they could see diamond-shaped windows in it. All of these objects were moving silently. They also endured cars inexplicably stalling around their home, their kitchen cabinets and doors slamming late at night, and their locked living room door found flung wide open in the morning as if someone had opened it from outside.
huh.
They also received strange calls with metallic, incoherent sounds or what sounded like a baby crying. I don't know that this is an
No,
alien,
thank
okay? I'm just like, y'all
yeah.
need to move.
No,
Time
thank
to move.
no, thank you.
Um, John Keel interviewed the family, asked if they had dreamed of a stranger in their house at night. And when he asked this, Linda Lilly, the daughter, said she woke one night to see a very large figure looming over her bed, a big, broad man whose face she could not see well, but who had a big grin.
Nope.
He crept around her bed and stood right above her before vanishing when she covered her head with the blanket,
Oh, see,
which
it
I'm
works.
like,
It works.
like, it works. You just hide under the blanket, you're safe. Linda then rushed to her mom's room, hysterical, and wouldn't sleep alone for months after that.
I mean, yeah.
Well, yeah, if some man's in my room, heck no, I'm not sleeping alone ever again.
Yeah.
What the heck? Also, I, it's so funny. He vanished when I put the blanket over my head. Well, that's because you couldn't see him anymore, dear.
Yeah.
Peekaboo! It works with babies too.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, sorry, that was mean to that poor woman. Prior to this, on October 16th of 1966, Martin and James Youngkitis were walking down 4th Street in New Jersey. And as they walked, they noticed what they described as a surreal figure wow, neither of us can talk tonight. As they walked, they noticed what they described as a surreal figure standing near a fence. Martin later recounted, Jimmy nudged me and said, "Who's that guy standing behind you?" I looked around and there he was behind that fence, just standing there. He pivoted around and looked right at us. Then he grinned a big old grin.
Ugh.
The Youngkitis boys described the man as being tall and bald, almost sinister in appearance, and wearing a metal green suit. They said his nose and skin looked strange and he had an ominous air about him. But unlike Cold, this man wasn't friendly. They recounted how he appeared as if the grinning man began sprinting after them. They turned and fled the scene, uh, sneaking out of his grasp, most likely due to their familiarity with the area. For the next few days, multiple reports of UFO type crafts were reported by a handful of people across New Jersey. And then in chapter 2 of the Visitors from Lanulos book by Derenberger, he actually shared other sightings that people allegedly confided to him. Like they're like, "Oh, I saw him too." So I have two of those, or yeah, two of those here that I'll wrap up with.
Sweet.
Hmm?
I said sweet.
Oh, I thought you said wait. I was like, what?
No.
I'm waiting. What? Okay, so the first one is one family, a mom, her son Frank, and daughter Susan stopped their car and watched the ship very shortly after it had left the spot where it had stopped me. They watched it for about 5 minutes until it left, heading towards Parkersburg, possibly scouting the city. Later, a young man driving on the same stretch of road had the shocking experience of having the ship hover over his car. As the hip sh-
They hit the
As the ship hovered over the car, it shines a brilliant white light on him. He left very quickly and reported the incidents to the police.
Wow.
Later that night, two truck drivers were also stopped on Interstate 77 by the same ship, but not wanting notoriety, they would not give their names for publication, and they did not report it to these police. These two men did, however, later reveal their story to John Keel. So multiple people saw this ship the same night that Woodrow Derenberger did, but it only stopped and talked to Woodrow Derenberger, which I thought was interesting.
Maybe he's just like a very approachable people person.
Maybe,
Indrid was like,
maybe.
I have to make friends with one of these humans. I guess it can be this guy. He's got a
This
kind.
guy, yeah, he's got a kind looking face. He seems like a decent guy.
Yeah, that's great.
So yeah, I just was like, when I first picked this up, I thought, well, there's not going to be a whole lot because I only know a little bit of Indrid Cole, or Indrid Cold. Like I'm just like, oh, like he's attached to Mothman, right? That's all I knew.
Well, that's what the Mothman, what, shoot, what's the,
The Mothman prophecies.
The Mothman prophecies, yeah, that's what the movie would have you believe that like the Mothman and Indrid Cold are one in the same, but no,
Yeah,
not.
they're not. They were seen around the same area, around the same time,
Hmm.
but yeah, they are two different people because obviously Mothman is from somewhere and Indrid Cold is from Lanulos,
Yeah,
which is
don't
two
think.
totally different places.
I mean, we don't actually know that Mothman isn't from Lanulos. New theory:
Hmm.
Indrid is a bounty hunter, and the Mothman it has escaped
Ooh.
prison or something on land.
New theory. Mothman is Lanulos' version of a puppy, and Indrid was just trying to get his puppy back.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We have two wildly different directions to go here: bounty
Yeah.
hunter or lost dog.
Oh, I like the lost dog theory better. I love like this guy uh that was like besties with Indrid. Indrid didn't mention anything about a lost little puppy, did he? I've lost my
No.
moth and
Well,
he's
I don't know. It says they communicated for several minutes and he doesn't go into every single detail that they talked about. So he might have, but I feel
yeah.
like if they asked about a puppy, he would have been like, yeah, and he was looking for his dog. Like,
Well, it's weird the things people leave out of, reports
true.
and stuff. So
Yeah. Well, I didn't think that was important. The
yeah.
fact that the guy had a bloody knife in his hand, like,
Uh, yeah. He said he lost his dog. I didn't think that was a big deal.
yeah, like he's just got out of
I
a
didn't know it
spaceship and was
was
like, I
Mothman.
lost my dog. I'm sorry, you're out of a spaceship. What?
Uh, yeah, I like that theory.
Oh,
So,
I was going to show you something, but I realized we're not actually on camera.
oh, we'll get on camera, homie.
Okay, I'm going to get on camera.
Hello. Oh my gosh, no, that smile is horrible. No.
I drew that. Yeah, sorry.
You know who that could be? That could totally be the Joker.
I know. I thought about that. I was like,
Jeez.
this is really creepy. I've made him very Jokerish.
Yeah, that's I don't like that. You can go off camera again.
Okay, sorry. I will.
That's fine. That's really cool
I'll
art.
have to
That's a
thank you.
very talented it's very creepy.
Well, yeah, I got the creep factor. That's what I was going for.
Yeah.
I found it interesting that the grinning man showed up in different places, but he was like not nice.
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe,
It wasn't all the same.
maybe Indrid was the nice guy and the other ones were the bounty hunters.
Oh yeah. No, Indrid was the owner of the dog, Mothman,
Okay.
looking for his dog, and the mean ones were like the dog catchers.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna get this Mothman before the owner does, so we can take him back to whatever the planet was,
Landulos.
Annulos, and take him to the pound, and he'll have to pay the fine to get him out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aw, poor little Mothman. Just tried to run around and warn people about bridges.
Yeah. I also feel like I need to say that I'm not implying that dog catchers are like that. I know
No,
they're not.
no, they're not. They're just doing a job that, well, now I have to be like, spay and neuter your pets. All your animals, please stop overpopulating.
Yeah. Adopt,
Be a
don't shop.
responsible owner.
Also that too. Adopt, don't shop.
Adopt, don't shop.
Well,
Um,
anyway, I'm kind of a hypocrite for saying that because I got my dog from I did not purchase my dog. I will say that. She came from a litter that my sister's dog had. Anyway.
yeah. I will be like, if you were looking for a specific type of dog or something, like I'm not going to be bratty and be like, oh, you should go get a rescue and not get your purebred. Get the dog that you will love,
Oh yeah.
but don't neglect the rescues because
Also like do your homework about the breeders too.
yes, Yes, please.
Anyway, wow,
Anyway,
your
that
top.
was a shift of topic.
Yeah,
So my topic was short, but also like,
that's fine because mine was long.
yeah,
So,
but yours was really fascinating, like the
I
psychology of that.
think it's
And
pretty.
I thought it was funny, like as I was reading the last little things, my brain went like, oh, I bet these people were like, oh, well, he's told his story, we could tell ours, kind of bystander effect vibes.
Like, I wonder if that sort of played a part in it, if they would not have come forward if the first guy hadn't.
Yeah, that would be interesting. When we go back in time, when we have time travel,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go find out.
Okay.
I'm gonna go be there on that corner and see if it actually happened,
Yeah,
or if
Indrid.
this guy was just fell asleep at the wheel and needed an excuse.
Yeah. I'm gonna be in the car with the guy and be like, Indrid, hey, take me. Take me with you.
Yeah, right, dude.
Yeah. Get rid of the creepy smile, but yeah.
Yeah. Just like, okay, we appreciate that you're smiling, but tone it down just a little bit.
You're getting it wrong.
Too big of a smile is bad.
Yeah. Human smiles, uh, less creepy.
Yeah, yeah, less creepy smile. Just a little bit of curve, not so much teeth.
Yeah.
I just remember when Sheldon and Big Bang Theory tried to smile.
Yeah.
Not like that, not like that.
Mhm. Uh,
Uh, so yeah, that's my thing. And we'll have to draw cards for our next topics when we're
oh, yeah.
back at home.
I didn't even think about that. Shoot.
We really, I mean, it's like we've known about this dog sitting for a while now.
I
Well,
know.
to be fair, the house I'm at, we just got recently, so
Yeah, that is true.
but
We could have planned better regardless.
yeah, it's fine.
It's
This
fine.
is
Look at
fun.
it. Is this the first time ever that we've actually both presented topics and not drawn new cards at the end of the episode?
I think so.
That's crazy. All
I
right.
don't know.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, because the last time we did a when I was dog sitting last time and we recorded, um,
We
you
each.
held up the cards. You drew
Yeah.
and held up the card.
Oh, yeah. That was fun.
That was fun. I was home earlier. I could have gotten the cards. I didn't even think about it.
Oh, well.
We'll have to draw. We'll draw the next time we're at home together.
Yeah.
And then we'll know our topics for next week.
Okay.
Unless you want to do the bystanders part two.
Oh, I don't know. We'll see if my brain can handle it. It was a lot of
Yeah.
science.
It is a lot of science stuff. I think about topics sometimes that I'm like, I want to know more about that. Like stuff just randomly pops in my brain, and then I'm like, I have to become a quantum physicist to figure that out. Never mind.
Oh, I have to have brain power for this. Okay.
Yeah, okay, never mind. I'm gonna
Max.
go talk about aliens or cryptids or something.
Yeah. Uh, so what's
Okay, so we're not drawing.
not drawing? Do you spiel? Find us on patreon.com/Jess and Hids. That's pretty much all you need to know right now.
Yeah. You're gonna want to be a patron though, because we got some fun stuff. Secret project.
Projects. Oh my goodness. I am so excited.
So stoked.
Yeah.
And our patrons are gonna hear some of the details first.
Yeah. For
Not all the details, but they're gonna hear the details first.
uh-huh.
And that there is going to be patron input,
Yes. So
which
become
is
a patron if you want to be involved at the ground level. Get at the ground level of this because it's going to be huge.
get in now because it's gonna be huge.
Okay.
I
No,
I don't know if it's gonna be huge, but it's gonna be fun.
I
And
hate myself for even saying that. So
huh?
I sort of hate myself for even saying that.
I know. Anyway, it's
So
fine.
it's gonna be fun. And you
It's
definitely
gonna be so much fun.
should become a patron. Um, because reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your war member?
My warm ember, I'm gonna tell you, well, I about said it's me, and then I was immediately like, you can't say that. I have been drawing like crazy the past several days, and I've actually been quite happy with what I've drawn,
You
which isn't
you took
normal for me.
you've done like how many like individual pieces just the last
Um,
days?
the last week
Anyway,
I did three tonight.
yeah.
Well, four if I count Indrid.
Oh gosh.
Two. I'm looking, I, three, four, five, six, seven. Oh God.
Oh no.
Eight, nine, 10, 11, 12, 13 in my notebook right now from the past 2 days,
Oh,
14 counting Indrid.
that's crazy.
And one of them is a commission piece that I thought was going to take me a lot longer, but it just hit me all at once and I made it happen and I'm so happy.
So very cute.
Um so yeah, I had a lot of fun with that one. He's really cute.
Yeah.
Um so yeah, like
I like that warm
I'm
up.
I'm just happy with myself and I'm never that way. So that's my warm ember. It's
Yay.
me.
So
What's yours?
mine is um a week or so ago we got on Groupon to randomly look up travel stuff because sometimes they have some pretty good like package all-inclusive travel deals.
Oh my gosh.
And we found for $200, it's a mystery travel package. And you buy the voucher, you go to the website, you put in a code, and they will tell you, and then like you have to like give preferred like departure airport and dates and stuff, but they tell you what vacation you go on. And they're divided into three different tiers. You can either do like a 2 night stay somewhere in the continental United States, or 5 nights in like some kind of beachy sort of vibes resort like Hawaii or the Caribbean or whatever, or 7 nights somewhere in Europe. And it's all like a mystery sort of, like you could get like the 2 nights or you could go on a European vacation, and you don't know
Which is
until you submit the voucher and the form and stuff. And I'm so excited.
I actually, a few years ago, I saw this and was like, what is this thing? And I actually looked into it and like, I'm like, oh, that would be fun to do one day. And I then promptly forgot because, ADHD.
Because you know,
So when you said that, you were like, hey, check this out. I was like, in the back of my head, I'm like, where have I heard of this before? And earlier today, I was like, oh yeah.
Jenny.
It was forever ago that I like, not forever ago, but like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm super stoked. I'm so excited
And like
to find out.
we are we can't, oh gosh, what am I trying to say? We can't go until the fall. And I guess you can't even submit the form until like 3 months before your preferred travel date. So we can't even like submit and find out where we're going
I
until
know till like June.
June or July. Yeah. So but we bought the vouchers. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited, and I hope we get to go somewhere fun. But like any vacation
Like
is fun.
honestly,
So
like for $200, even if we get like a state over, it's still
yeah,
because it's
I
like,
think like the minimum is 400 miles away from your preferred airport.
yeah.
So we know we're not gonna end up like here.
Yeah, they're not gonna send us to Phoenix.
Yeah.
That's our departure airport. So
Yeah. So I'm excited, and that's a good warm ember. Like future, it's going to be like a gift, future gift to ourselves.
yeah. Yay.
So that's going to be super fun.
Yeah. I'm very excited about that. That's my warm member.
Yay, I love that.
If you want to tell us your warm embers, dear listeners, or suggest a topic for our podcast, you can email us at jessandhids@gmail.com. You can also sign up for our newsletter at jessandhids.com. Just scroll down to the bottom and fill out the little newsletter form. Be expecting a newsletter at some point
Next week.
next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
But obvious, as usual, if you want to stay as up to date with what's going on with us as possible, head over to Patreon, and become a follower. You can follow us for free, or you can join as a paid member. We would absolutely love that. Patreon.com/jessandhids.
Yay. Come join our community.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yep. I
And
think that's it.
yeah, that is it.
Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you so much. We will talk at you next week.
Bye.
Bye.